Hello guys, good evening, good morning, depending on when you're going to watch this video. Um, I hope you guys are well. Today we're having a chat with Luyanda and we are talking about reconnecting with yourself. I'm just quickly adding a comment so that I can pin it and so that you guys know what we're talking about today. Let's do that. Let's pin the comment. Okay. Officially, hi guys, welcome back to my channel, welcome back to the Mentorship Corner, and welcome back to our August edition. So on today's edition, we are going to be talking about reconnecting with yourself, and we are hosting Luyanda Kubisa. So before I even start rambling on, let me just add her onto the conversation. And I just want to say thank you to everyone who's joining us today. Thanks, guys. I know it's late, but thank you.
Hi.
Hi. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good, good. I'm good, good. Sounds good. Sounds good. Okay. Oh, I just moved stuff there, but I think we're good. Okay. Before we even begin, let me just set out a few rules, guys, to everyone who's watching and joining us live today. If you've got any questions, please leave them on the questions section, not on the comment section, so that it's easier for us, to go back and not miss any questions at the end of the video. Yeah, but before we start, I quickly introduced your name and surname, but just walk us through, do like a quick brief introduction of yourself.
Myself.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, my name is Luyanda Nokolo Kubisa. I am from
Okay.
Empangeni in
Mm-hmm.
Engwelezane, in the small township of Engwelezane. I am a small town girl with global aspirations. I'm a lover of
Love
life.
it.
I'm
Mm-hmm.
a lover of life, and I am currently a student. Yeah, at the University of Zululand, looking to becoming a
Okay.
chartered accountant. Also, the current training with Zululand,
Good.
I think the longest training one because of COVID. Current training with Zululand and the Prince of
Girl, enjoy
Zululand.
it. Enjoy
I'm
it.
taking it in. I'm taking it in.
Yes, lovely, lovely. Um, do you want to know a fun fact before we even continue with this conversation?
Yes,
My
please.
second name is not all.
I
I
knew there's something
know,
about
right?
you.
I know, right? I'm learning this now. I'm like, oh wow, okay, alrighty, alrighty. But let's get right into it. So before we even start with our conversation, I have, it's not even a quote. It's actually like a few words from a conversation that this lady had in an interview with Oprah. Her name is Iyanla. I could be wrong. Vincent. So she basically said, and I quote, putting yourself first is not selfish, it is self-full. And I thought to myself, this is like a perfect beginning of our conversation today, because we are going to be talking about loving yourself, discovering and learning more about yourself, and how you basically go about doing that, and how you go about empowering yourself. So after I've said that to you, if it rings any bell, if you want to add anything on top of it, you are more than welcome to before we start with our first question.
Oh my gosh. I think a quick disclaimer because in doing my research about the topic, I felt like
Okay.
I wanted to put it out there that I don't feel like a person goes on a journey to look for themselves outside of themselves, because I strongly feel that everything you already need to survive this lifetime, um, for all the trials and the tribulations that you will ever face in your lifetime, it's already within you. It's something that God
Yeah.
planted in you. So you
In
don't
you.
go out and
Yes.
you don't go outside and discover yourself. You look inwards, you go back into yourself and you find and discover and uncover more about yourself. So yeah.
Oh, you know what? I think we also like a great that because that's literally one of the things that I also strongly believe in, that for you to find you, you need to go back to you. You don't have to come to me. You don't have to go to your friends.
Exactly.
You don't have to go to your family. You just need to go back and dig deeper into you. And I think that brings us to like our very first question. The first
Mhm.
question is for the interview is basically, why is knowing yourself important? Why is discovering yourself important? Why? Like, what's the big why around it for you?
So I have to steal some of Michelle Obama's words. Everybody, anyone who knows me knows I'm obsessed with Michelle. So she says, I think in her, so she says, if you don't
Girl,
go
go for
out there
it.
and define, yeah, she says, if you don't go out there and define yourself, you'll quickly be inaccurately defined by others. And with that, I
Mm.
found that, mhm. So I feel like self-discovery is a fundamental pillar for self-growth. It will take you
Yes.
from being oblivious about yourself to owning your power.
Mm.
It's you learning how to
Oh.
understand your true potential, knowing your feelings, your
Mm-hmm.
style, your preferences, and
Mm.
so much
Yes.
more.
Yes.
You learn how to speak
Mm.
up for yourself. You learn to hear yourself clearer. I'm sorry about that. You live
Yes.
more
Mm.
intentionally once you unlocked or fully discovered yourself. So I think that's why self-discovery is so important.
Sure. I want you said a lot of things, right? A lot of things right now.
I'm
And I'm sure
sorry.
someone who's sitting at home is just having a lot of like aha moments. I just before I even like have like a follow-up question to what I just asked you and how you just answered it. I just wanted, can you just repeat that same that Michelle Obama phrase that you said you got from I think a book or like some interview. Can you just repeat that for me, please? I just feel like someone needs to hear that again before we continue.
Okay, so it states if you don't go out there and define yourself, you'll quickly
Yes.
be inaccurately be defined by others.
Love it. Love it. And that literally takes me to the next point of discovering yourself. So I know it's a journey because and it's like a continuous journey, it's a never ending journey. My next question to you is it something you feel we should do it daily or we should do it when we feel the need to? Like, for example, let's say you're going through a rough patch in life and all of a sudden you find yourself making decisions that on a normal day you wouldn't make. Do you feel that's when we need to go through that self-discovery journey? Or is it something that you just kind of bit by bit every day, just add it there and a little bit of there and a little bit there?
I don't know about somebody else, but I think for me, it's something that is continuously happening
Mm,
every single day. I learn something new about
mm,
myself. Every single day,
yeah.
I realize that something triggers something in me that just unlocks and helps me realize certain things about myself. Sometimes someone will say something to
Mm,
me and it would make me feel uncomfortable. And then I realize that, oh, okay, I'm not okay with somebody addressing me like that. So I think it's an everyday
yes.
thing. Self-discovery is continuous, it's never ending, it's infinite. So I don't think it's something you can do at
Mm,
certain periods in your life. It's a thing that you
in
do
your
every
life,
single
yes.
day. And I don't even think
Yes.
we are constantly thinking about it. That's why it just happens. It happens naturally for me. And I think for everybody else, I
Mm,
feel like it happens and we're not even too aware when it's happening. So yeah.
yes. Got you. got you. Um,
Yeah.
got you. Okay, we're back. We're back again. We're back again. Guys, we apologize for the network. We're in two different provinces, two different cities, so it's gonna come and go in between everything. It's gonna come and grow and go in between everything. If you may, would you be so kind to share with us if you have like a routine that you follow when you're going through your self-discovery journey? I know for myself that, as you're saying, it's continuous, it's never ending, and it happens every day unconsciously so. But there comes a time in your world where you're like, okay, fine, you know what? Let's say maybe you went through something, and as I said, you find yourself making decisions that on a normal day you were not going to make, and then you're like, okay, fine, let's sit down and let's reset and let's try and figure out, okay, fine, what did I learn from this journey? What did I figure out about myself? And then how do we go about that self-discovery journey? Do you have a routine that you follow that you would like to share with us? Or I don't know, depending on what you generally do, basically, when that happens.
Okay, I want to be completely honest. I don't
Okay.
think I have a routine, but I found that
Mm.
silence, for me, silence helps me connect with myself. When I am quiet and I'm not
Mm.
speaking, I'm alone with my thoughts. I have an internal diary that I'm
Yes.
writing things on. And for me, I found that I think it's called meditation. I think the correct term is
Yes.
meditation, but
Yes.
but for me, it's just being quiet. It's being alone with my thoughts. I think there's so much power in silence. I think it's such an internal language because you hear yourself, you hear your thoughts, you hear your fears, you hear all your worries. And yeah, for me, I have to meditate
Mm.
on things. That's how I work through things.
Love it, love it. And I'm assuming that because when I also do that with myself, I realize that sometimes there's things you're like, I don't think I want to think about that. But then because you are in that moment, you actually face everything more honestly and more realistically
Exactly.
than you normally do.
Exactly.
Because there's no
Exactly.
noise that's coming through and affecting like your thinking and everything that you're going through. There's no noise. Like it's so honest and
And
so
the
raw
world is
and so
so
real.
noisy. And the world is
It
so
is.
noisy. Social media is
It
loud.
is.
Our friends are loud. Our lecturers are loud. Your
Yes.
parents are loud. So when
Yes.
you get the chance to
Yes.
be alone and be alone with your thoughts in a quiet space, you really can
Mm.
drown out other people's opinions. You really can forget that post that you saw about whatever it was. You can be with yourself.
Mm.
Mhm.
Yes. Love it. Love it.
Mhm.
So I'm going to ask you a personal question. Let's get just a little bit personal. Um, so do you have that you would be open enough to share with my viewers when you went through like your when you go through like your moment of silence with yourself? Is there something that it could be an experience, it could be something that you picked up that you were like, oh hey, actually if I discuss this with a friend they could actually learn or grow from it?
This question, I really, I kind of struggled with this one,
I
but
know, I know. If you want, we can continue and then we can leave it for the at the end of the video. I don't know, it's up to you.
it's okay. It's okay.
Okay.
So, story time. This is going to turn into a story time.
It's okay.
Okay.
Few minutes of your story time, it's fine.
Yeah. So, my younger self. This is a conversation about my younger self. I was a very silent child, not quiet, silent. Growing
Mm.
up, I would not speak. There's absolutely nothing you could do to make me speak. I was very
Sure,
reserved.
okay.
I was
Mm.
just quiet. Everything just in the world seemed so overwhelming for me at that time. But what I found was I had so many conversations inwards. I was talking inside. I was talking. Somebody would say something that I don't completely agree with, and I would tell them inwards that you're so wrong. You're so wrong, you know? So in my silence,
Mm.
I found that I had collected so much information. I had decoded how I wanted to present that information to the rest of the world. So when I think I was about 13, 12, I finally started being, I think I started speaking. Let me just simply put, I started speaking. And when I started speaking, I realized, oh, I had so much to say now. From the years and years of
Mm.
silence, it had built
That
up
you've been
and
collecting.
I had so much to say. When I had so much to say, I realized I would never stop because, you know, I had acquired so much information and it wouldn't be fair for me to just keep it to myself. Um, so for me,
Yes.
yeah, that was my little story for you guys that yeah, I was a silent child and then I finally found my voice. I finally understood all the things that I was passionate about and what I wanted to do in the world. And I seen different role models and different women and whose style I liked and what from her I wanted. And for me, that helped shape the type of person that I would
The person you
later
be.
on be.
Yes. Yes. And I think it's also still because I'm sure it's quite a skill to acquire information because especially because we live in a world where we think we always need to be social to get to
Mhm.
learn from people. We always need to speak to someone, we always need to communicate with someone, but actually to understand Ruti, when you're silent, you can actually absorb so much more and actually know that when you now have to speak, you know what you're saying and you know why you're saying it. You're not
And you know
just
how you want to
just
say
saying
it. You know how you want
yes,
to say
yes.
it.
Yes, yes, exactly, exactly. That's beautiful. That's so beautiful. So our next question is basically around finding purpose, finding your purpose in life, and learning to empower yourself. Um, I think it resonates so well with the story you just told because you basically acquired everything, and then when you were ready to speak, you're ready to, show the world who you really are and what you want to do. I think this like ties up so well. So basically, I want to ask you this: what does living a purposeful life mean in your world? What does that mean to you?
To me personally, it means exactly that. It means living with purpose. You know, for
Mm,
me, it's me understanding that all of us are born with different talents and gifts, and I don't think anything would be quite more satisfying or fulfilling for Nomzamo, I mean Unomtangazo to be doing other than the things that are like planted deep within her. If you're a nurturer and you're not out here nurturing, you know, you're not walking in your purpose and you'll never be fully
yes.
fulfilled, I feel. So yeah, living
Mm,
purposefully for me is walking in your truth. It is doing what you want to do, knowing why you want to do it, and just continuing
mm,
every day to choose that. You choose that. You make decisions that help you grow closer to what you want to be or who you want to be. That's living a purposeful life for me.
sure. I love what you just said about every day you must continue to choose that. You must continue to make decisions that align you with what you want to do. And I also love that you touched on the why because there's people out there who are like, oh no, Luyanda is Miss Universal. Okay, I want to be Miss Universal. And then you ask them, but why? Like, nah, I just like the benefits. Okay, but why do you want the benefits? So you're just doing it because you're seeing someone do it. It's not in line with what you are supposed to be doing. So then you end up just you're jumping from this and then that and then that and then that. But you're not really going to what like is meant for you and what is your actual purpose. I just love what you just said. Like, guys, every day you must choose. I love the fact that you must choose and then you must make decisions that make sure with you are still in line with your purpose, that you are still in line with what you feel you came here to do, right? My second last question is, let's talk a little bit about self-empowerment. I know people sometimes feel like if we are studying to empower ourselves, or I don't know, going to an event to get some information to actually pour back into yourself, some people feel like that's being selfish. One, two, I find they just feel like as paramisa, you're trying to like make yourself a bit better, which technically you are. But I wanted to just like walk us through why you think it's important. Is it important to empower yourself? And if so, why?
It's so, I can't stress how important this one is. It is so important to empower yourself. Remember, we're human
Mm.
beings. We're like cups. You need to fill your own cup, and then when your cup
Yes.
overflows, see the rest of what's overflowing. That's for other people. But my cup must be full.
Yes.
My cup must be full.
Yes.
So if I'm Luyanda Kubisa and I want to get into business, what's so wrong about me taking up a business course? I want to get into business. So let me take the necessary steps to learning about what I want to get into. In
Yes.
order for anybody to be successful in whatever that they want to do, you need to empower yourself with information, with the
Mm.
necessary skills, with the
Yes.
necessary knowledge to be great,
Mm.
because no one is here trying to be,
Good. An average.
mediocre. So you work.
Yes.
Yeah, so I think it's crucial for us to empower ourselves. If you want to be great at something, you have to learn about it. You have to try every day. So self-empowerment is
Mm.
very, very important.
Lovely. Lovely. Love that you're saying you want to be great. So you must aim to be great, guys. It's not about being okay. It's not about being, oh, I can do it. If you want to be in business, aim to be great in that industry that you're in. If you want to be a speaker, aim to be a great speaker, because that's self-empowerment. And don't be shy to take those courses, as you're saying, that will, give you like a few steps into whatever it is that you want to do in your world. I think I want to just add reading. Reading is very important. And I know
Exactly.
people don't
Very,
like to
very
read, but guys, reading is also part of self-empowerment. It's very important. Please
very.
read, 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 even if you're not studying, but read. Our last question, last question before we end this amazing interview. Basically, I want you to touch on living in the moment, like being present, being intentional in everything that you do, be it having a dinner date with a friend, be it us having this interview right now, be it someone sitting at home watching this interview. Let's just touch a little bit on being present and being like living in the moment. Why is that important?
Sure. Yeah, so much is happening around us, so much is happening in our lives that we miss the little things. We miss and we fail to absorb all the little things. Like I
Yes.
said, like we were
Mm,
talking about living a purposeful life. You
mm,
want a wholesome life. Like, you want to have a wholesome life. So if I'm going to do something, I'm going to do
yeah.
it properly. I'm going to do it with everything that I have, with every fiber of my being.
In
With this interview itself, I have to take it all in. I have to communicate with you properly. I have to soak up everything, because I don't know, maybe this could possibly be our last interview together. We don't know what
you
tomorrow
see?
holds.
Exactly.
We don't.
Yes.
So everything that you do it as if it's your first time and it's your last time combined. You know?
Mm, mm.
Yeah.
I love that. I love that. And it's so, I love that you're touching on everything that's happening. We're losing a lot of people. And I think it's teaching a lot of people to appreciate the people in your life. Like when, for example, if I'm going for a lunch date with a friend, like the example I made, let me
Uh-huh.
switch my phone. and leave it on the side and actually engage with the person in front of
Let
me
me talk
and
to you.
be
Let me look at you in the
present.
eye.
Yes, let me just be present and like just immerse myself in this moment for that, even if it's just 1 hour, so that I'm here, I'm present. Should anything happen, I know Guti, like John Bush, I gave it my all, like
Mm-hmm.
every fiber in my being. I was there, I was present. And I know with whatever happens, everything was just like on the table. I have no regrets, basically. No
Like
regrets.
imagine having that lunch date with your friend, and they're going through probably the worst time in their lives. And because you were too busy on your cell phone, you couldn't even
You didn't even
notice in
know.
their eyes that they're not okay. Yeah, it's really important to
Mm,
be fully in the moment.
yes, yes. Um, So we are coming to almost the end of our live. I'm giving you an opportunity to add any last comments. So to people who are joining us now, guys, we've discussed a few things. We spoke about self-discovery. We spoke about empowering yourself. We spoke about living a purposeful life, and we touched on being present and living in the moment. So all these things are actually very important. With basically coming together, they all come together to combined to like the topic we have today, which is reconnecting with yourself. So if you try to balance all these things in your life, you will always be sure. Luyanda issue, you have to go back and dig deep and find you in
Mm-hmm.
you. So that's basically the gist of today's topic. We're just going back. So you can just like run through everything and check if are you living a purposeful life? Are you present in every moment that you're in? Um, do you know yourself? Do you know what you like? Do you know what ticks you off and all that drama so that you can be able to reconnect with you again? So Tobega, I'm saying Tobega, Luyanda, sorry. If you've got any last comments before we take questions, if you guys have questions, this is your moment. You can ask us any question. Don't be too personal because we're not sharing our personal lives really. But it's just a session to educate you guys. So if you've got any last comments, you are more than welcome to drop it now.
Sure. I think it's just going to be a recap or a summary of everything that we've spoken about because
Okay.
really not sure. So, but I want people to I don't want people to wander off and go look for themselves in things and people and whatever. Rather, like you start here. If you're looking for yourself, you're here, babe. You're here. You look
Mm,
inside you.
mm,
You
mm.
meditate. You pray. You journal. You do whatever helps you connect with you. I think for me, that's a
Yes.
very important word. Do whatever helps you hear yourself clearly. Um, yeah, I think it's very crucial. And then I want to share a quote by Maya Angelou because, well,
We're
oh my
listening. All
sister's on
ears.
the live. My sister's on the live. Oh my gosh.
Oh,
Hi,
that's right.
Sanda. So
You
the
can share your
quote
quote.
says, the quote says, in solitude you can be a much to be desired wait, solitude can be a much to be desired condition. Not only is it acceptable to be alone at times, but it is possibly positively wished for. In silence, we listen to ourselves, and in quietude, we may even hear the voice of God.
Sure. That's powerful. I don't think there's like a better way to end this live, honestly. I don't think. I don't. I don't. Thank you so much, Luyanda. Thank you so much. Thank you for your time. Um, I'm just gonna read through the comments. So we have our first comment from Mr. Big Boss. He says, "Great topic." Um, there's Iyanla Mbe. She's always in our lives. Iyanla girl, I see
Oh,
you. She says, loved it. And then she said, oh, yes, never ending journey. We were talking about the fact that self-discovery is a never ending journey. So that's like a continuous one. And then we had another comment from Utali. She was saying something about embrace. Yes, she said embracing the moment is very important also. I think we did touch on that when we were speaking about being present in the moment. So we don't seem to have questions. We also have a heart from Tembinkosi Kuluse. Let's see. Okay, so we have a question from Sims La Visto. It says, which moment do you wish to go back to? One that you weren't present in. Sure. Hectic.
That's
I
my
don't know if
mom.
he's asked. I think he's asking you, hey, because I'm interviewing you technically.
And disclaimer, that is my mother. My mother is asking that.
Oh, I love you, mom.
So a moment, you know, I think it has to be Miss South Africa for a day. There, everything was just so, it was such an outer body experience, né? Because everything happened and I was there. I don't think I was 100% in the moment. Because essentially living my dream, but in such a short space of time, I couldn't fully absorb everything. But it was
Everything.
a great experience. I don't think I'd change it. I'd keep it that way because it keeps me curious about maybe potentially doing it as Miss
Mm-hmm.
Africa for an entire year. But yeah, that is a moment
Yeah,
I'd love to go back to.
lovely, lovely. Um, let's see. We've got another comment from Uzane Mvula. He's saying the best thing I have heard in 2021. We got you. Thank you so much for that. We are so glad you enjoyed the live. Um, um, I am Tembin Kuluze. He's saying it is really inspiring seeing such young women giving such powerful messages. May God bless you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for that. And then Uzanem Vula is like, Siyabonga, guys. I think those are all the questions we have. If we have any other questions, you guys, I'm going to be uploading the video on my YouTube channel so you can leave the questions there. I think in closing, can you please read us that Maya Angelou quote, and then we shall bow.
Don't I get to ask you questions, darling?
Okay, I'll allow you to ask me one question. Yeah, I'm never interviewed, so this is going to be very awkward for me. But I'll allow you to ask me one question, and I promise you, I'll be very honest.
Let's share your experience. Yeah, let's share your experience in your self-discovery journey.
In my self-discovery journey, sure. Let's see. I'm trying to think.
Not so easy.
It's not. But so my one that I'm going to share has to do with living in the moment. So I can't remember the year, but I was in varsity, and I think it was my final year. I was in varsity, and I'm like, okay, so we're gonna graduate next year. We're finishing school, but I also realized, Wuti, because that year I was so busy and I wasn't home that much. I would go home, and I'd take pictures of everything, but not be there. Do you get what I mean?
Oh.
It's like I'm going there, I'm present, I'm taking pictures of everyone, but I'm not actually present in the moment. It's like social media. It's like I'm gonna go on vacation, but I'm gonna take pictures for everyone to actually see because I'm gonna post the pictures, but I'm not really enjoying the moment. I'm not really living in the moment. Because I remember this one time I came back from home after like a long weekend, and then I'm like, hey man, but I still feel empty. It's like I didn't go home. You know, it's like what did you do wrong? It's like I didn't go home. And when I'm coming back from home, I normally come back like fulfilled, happy, re-energized, like ready to take over the world. But that specific weekend, I just went home. I took lots of pictures. And then when I sat down with myself, I was like, what went wrong? And then I realized that I was starting to fall into the social media trap of living for people to see that I'm living, but not necessarily living for me.
Ooh.
So that hit me hard. And I was like, okay, so let's go back to the drawing board and understand why you do certain things. Okay, why do you go home? You go home to see your family. So when you're home, fine, you can take a few snaps, but you can't be on your phone all the time. So there has to come a time where your phone is there on silent and you're actually listening to your grand speak. You're actually listening to your mother speak. You're actually going and playing with the kids outside. And you're actually taking in the fresh air and the scenery. So I think for me, that was a big one. And since that day, I started the no phone zone. So if I'm going out with friends, now it's like, okay, let's put our phones aside and actually engage with each other and not with people on WhatsApp because we're here. But that for me that hit me hard. Like when that happened, I realized, Wuti, you actually go like for so long in your life not present because you fall into that social media cycle.
Oh, yeah, that's a
Yeah.
deep conversation here.
It is. It is. And I journal a lot. So it was a lot of writing and it was a lot of very honest, raw conversations with myself that I had to sit down and have and be brutally honest with me, so that I can then go out and try and live more presently and more intentionally.
I love that. I honestly love
um, I'm hoping you don't have any questions for me. Thank you very much.
that. I'm done now. I'm done interviewing you.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. Can you just drop that quote again and then we'll sign out.
So it reads, solitude is a much to be desired condition. Not only is it acceptable to be alone, at times it is positively to be wished for. In silence, we listen to ourselves, and in quietude, we may even hear the voice of God.
Amen. Thank you so much. Thank you so much,
Thank you so much
Luyanda.
for having
Thank you
me.
for joining us today. We're definitely having you again, but we're not going to tell them when. It's fine. We'll hit you guys with a surprise. It was so
Can't
lovely
wait.
chatting with you. To everyone who joined us tonight, thank you so much, guys. The live is going to be on my channel. So head over there. The link is in my bio. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Bye, guys.